Hello, everyone. I want to make a recording today talking about a very, very simple principle. But I want to talk about this principle because most people know about it. Many probably even utilize it in some form or manner in their life, maybe to a very mild. But I want to talk about this very simple principle with the basis of understanding the United States Constitution, okay? Because I am an American, and I'm going to say some things about the Constitution that people from other countries, or even people from this country, may not have any understanding. And that is, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence of this country came forth with divine guidance. That means there are individuals who struggled to get a country to implement these principles by inspiring founders and even showing up in person occasionally to make this happen. Because this planet was in dire need of a place of refuge and a place where a seed could be planted for the future of humanity on this planet. Because as I have said before, there was a period of time when this planet was in such darkness that it may not have been capable of being redeemed. And we are just getting out of that extreme scenario, okay? We are just getting out of that. Thanks to the illumined action of an individual who most people know by the name of Jesus. Had this individual not done what he had done to help purify this planet, every single one of us would not be here today. We would have been dissolved and returned to the universal potential of consciousness, as if we had never existed, because we have been failing in this classroom for millennia, for millions of millennia. And that is okay. The universe wastes nothing. Either the children, the embryos of free will that we are, either come to the understanding or we do not. So what I want to point out today is we were given this Constitution, and its very basic principles are powerful enough to govern every one of mankind if they are obedient to them. We do not need 1,000 different laws to govern mankind. That is the creation of the minds of humanity who create complexity in order to control a populace out of greed. That is the only function of a complex system, is to make it hard for the general population to understand what is going on. But even beyond this, today I want to talk about the Golden Rule. Because the Golden Rule is powerful enough in itself to govern all the conduct of the entire universe. Can you even fathom that? That a single concept could be powerful enough to be the answer for every situation, let us consider that. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, on a person-to-person basis, if one actually applied that, they would never say or do anything to another brethren of light that they would not do unto themselves. That's what it means. Now fathom that. Consider that, how that would guide you to always be increasing goodness, charity, kindness, love on every level, because that's what you would do unto yourself. Now think about that, taking that to a business level, as a corporation of some sort. Let's say you create medicines. We're a pharmaceutical company. Imagine if that company only created medicines of some sort that had no destructive side effects, that only actually cured the problem instead of masking over it. Just imagine the difference. Just imagine if a company that made automobiles applied the golden rule. And instead of making automobiles that constantly needed repairs, that had designed to fail parts in them as part of a corrupt system to be constantly brought back into maintenance through a process of recall, that they actually applied their intelligence to create something that didn't need to be constantly fixed. Think of the difference when we did not waste mankind's life energy in creating stuff that was designed to fail. Where would we be as a country? Where would we be as a world? But this is what is happening. When the law of the golden rule is not lived by, we are subject to failure on every single level of existence. Of every physical item that is made in the world is subject to being imperfect. All of our educational system, our health systems, and every level of state and federal governance is in a complete downward spiral of failure because of the lack of application of a single concept of life. That is the absolute absurdity of the existing situation. But it is also the absolute brilliance and power that is behind truth. Because the solution is so elegant and so simple that a child can comprehend, embody, and apply this principle. And all it will take is for mankind to get fed up with themselves, basically, to get fed up with this idea to get fed up with the idea that this injustice to life should be tolerated. Because the waste of life's energy, not only in the thought process of engineering failure and incompetence into everything we do, the waste of time, the waste of energy, the waste of resources, is so tremendous that we are bankrupting our entire civilization in the process of employing this falsehood of life. But the people must see that there is a solution. They must have an understanding of the difference, that this is even available to them. And the world is so filled with distraction of every kind that the populace is so upside down in their thinking, in their reasoning. Their reasoning faculties barely function anymore. You only have to look into the insanity of the things that are being considered right now. That, let's just look at the concept of gender fluidity. That these things that people think about and consider, that they're basically saying everything is in one's mind. The reasoning faculties of mankind are in such dire straits because they have no foundation to anchor to at this moment. The foundation exists, but the complexity of the human situation on the planet between politics and just everyday life, you just anything you want to look at, the healthcare system, education, taxes, the voting, everything is in such an abject state of failure. Why is it that we cannot even vote properly? That there isn't even a system in place to ensure perfect voting? It's not that hard. Does anybody think it's that hard to create a system to allow people to choose this person or that person without interference of corruption or problems? It's just hard to fathom, right? It's really hard to fathom. And yet mankind don't even really see just how absurd it is. That they just kind of take it as normal life. That this level of incompetence and corruption and greed is just the way it is. Or the way it has to be, I should say. Because it is the way it is on the surface. But all of this stems from the complete refusal of mankind to apply that single principle of the golden rule. The golden rule could solve every one of these issues if it was just applied. Every last one. With perfect ease. Is there anybody else out there that can comprehend that with me? And this is why I made this recording today, because the power of a single concept it just blows my mind as I fathom it and feel it, right? to feel how magnificent it would be if mankind could just adhere to a single solution. If mankind could just feel that for a day, for a few hours, just to be quiet enough, to be still inside long enough for that principle of the golden rule to have space and time enough to just enter their consciousness. That's all that is needed. Because for mankind to have a properly functioning reasoning process is really paramount. The reasoning of mankind is so corrupted because they have not anchored to the power of the divine principles that are available to them. And even if they know of these principles, they look at the world and feel that it's so far out of reach that it's not even worth the effort to embody them. So I make this recording so that some lone voice in the wilderness says at least something to stress this point. It is worth every last fraction of energy you could possibly expend to embody the principle of the golden rule in everything you do. In your daily life, in your service to life, to embody it, to employ it, to use it, to share it, to get it in the consciousness of mankind. It's not so esoteric that they can't comprehend and employ this. It's so common sense. It kind of gets lost. It's so simple. It's completely ignored because the complexity of the human situation is like a dark forest, and it's so hard to even see anything in that forest that can help guide them out of it. So each moment of our lives that we employ the golden rule, you are adhering to divine perfection, or at least attempting to. And in the process of doing that, it will strengthen each one of us. Every single moment, every day that we try to adhere to that single principle, more strength, more clarity comes into our life. And by so doing that, everything in our life gets easier. Every single aspect of it. And not only that, that is our frequency increasing. Our resonance, our personal resonance is increasing. And as our personal resonance increases, so does the resonance of the entire nation in which you live. Your entire community raises. A small degree, yes. But life will take whatever we can give it and amplify the energy that is based on some form of divinity. It will take whatever we give it, whatever energy we can apply in our lives that is remotely on a path to recognizing the source, the proper source of everything. It will take that and amplify it. And you will build a momentum that is unstoppable by anything in the outer world. And it will carry on through embodiment after embodiment until you finally graduate. There is no substitution for this understanding of life. It is that simple. The application of the tools that have been given to us is all that is required. Just think of how long that principle of the golden rule has existed on this planet. It's probably been in the consciousness of mankind since the very beginning. But it is so easy to be led astray, at least to those who are still asleep at the wheel. So I wanted to speak these words of encouragement because if mankind did nothing else in their life but adhere to this one principle of life, to adhere to the golden rule, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, if they did nothing else in their life, no other soul-seeking understanding or knowledge, if they did nothing but apply that single principle, they would have blessings untold. There couldn't be anything simpler. And that's why I wanted to make this recording, because even in the avenues of spiritual development, there is so much human complexity. See, even those who are awakening still employ an immense amount of nonsense. So I really want to distill it down to this simple, extremely simple aspect that has been given to mankind. It's been here forever. It is so bafflingly simple that it is ignored almost entirely. But that is the beauty of life, is that its power comes from its simplicity. Simplicity is power. Complexity is confusion, and therefore weakness. So, thank you for listening to my discourse this morning. And I wish everyone a marvelous life of application of the Golden Rule.